Hi guys, so it's that time of the year, the end of the year, when serious focused people, go through their goals that they had at the beginning of the year, and you're trying to look through, did we actually accomplish the things that we set out to do? And yes, despite the fact that I'm also a farmer, I think I'm quite serious and focused. And so at the beginning of the year, I actually made a YouTube video. I'll leave a link to that video right here, you can check it out, where I had plans and goals and desires of things that I wanted to accomplish this year. And so yesterday I was going through it and I was thinking, whoa, this is quite interesting. So in today's video, I want us to actually go through this and see how far we've come. Did we actually attain those things that we set out to do at the beginning of the year? And the first thing that I want you guys to note is that a lot of times the things that we set out to do, we don't do. And there's nothing wrong with not fulfilling all the things that you set out to do. There is proof that people who create goals at the beginning of the year and they have a vision are actually more likely to succeed and excel and be happier in life than people who don't create any goals. So it's good that you create goals, but you might not be able to attain all of them. Actually, you might only attain one of them. Even attaining just one of them is better than not doing anything about it. So I think it doesn't kill. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't ascertain all the goals that you've set out to do. And you're actually going to notice that it's the same story with our farm. Also, you might be wondering why I've been concentrating so much on the commercial farm and not the breeder farm recently. Actually, even in the video I made at the beginning of the year, I had goals for both the commercial farm and the breeder farm. But in this follow-up video, I'm not going to talk about the breeder farm at all. Because recently I noticed that it doesn't make too much sense for me to really share a lot about the breeder farm, because honestly speaking, it's very unlikely that even just 2 of you, maybe 5 of you, people watching my YouTube channel right now, have goals and plans of starting a huge breeder farm. Very unlikely. So it's unrealistic. It just stresses a lot of you guys up, because I see a lot in the comment section below why people are saying me having, this huge farm on 400 acres and everything. And people are like, how do you get there? Is it even possible? There's a point where huge things actually stop being a goal and they just let you down. A point where you feel like, I think this is out of my reach, it's practically not possible. So I decided not to do it. I'll just concentrate on the commercial farm, because I know over here on a commercial level, even 50% of you guys are actually able to start a commercial farm. So for the breeder farm, I'll be sharing it once in a while. Not always, once in a while, but I'm not going to put too much emphasis on it on this Farm Up channel. So at the beginning of the year, I had 4 main goals. Number 1, to work up and finish the Farm Up Academy. That's the online classes. Number 2, to construct 2 chicken houses on the farm. Number 3, to do a dog breeder unit on this farm, because I wanted to breed dogs. And number 4, to construct a feed store or a feed processing unit. Now we're going to go through each one of these and see if I actually managed to attain them. Number 1, the Farm Up Academy. Well, unfortunately, again, I did manage to get the Farm Up Academy online. Honestly, I thought this year I would get the Farm Up Academy online. But guys, the Farm Up Academy involves so much work. It involves so much work because these are videos that I have to shoot and actually edit myself. I shoot these videos and edit them myself. And what that means is that I need to be available. Now, as you might understand, I run 2 farms, a breeder farm and this commercial farm, and then there's a lot of other things that I have to do. So it gives me very little time to actually sit and settle down and actually edit these videos. I shot all these videos. They are very ready and available, but editing them is taking longer than usual. Now, I could get someone on the outside to edit them, but I don't want them to miss out on the small things that might consider not essential, and they cut them out. Yet I actually know that these are very helpful to the growth of a farm for someone who's going to be attending the academy. So because of that, it made it very difficult for me. I actually haven't been able to complete editing these videos, but I'm hoping that in 2024 I'm going to do it very soon. In the first few months, I should have it ready. Yeah. Honestly, I also feel like at some point I've been complacent, but I haven't failed, because for me the goal is still very clear. I want to make the very best content, at least in terms of what is available in the content. The editing is not so important in terms of how nice the videos look, but the content, the matter inside needs to be worth it, because when someone is paying their money for this course, I want them to get the very best for their money and have the very best results. So that's the reason why I didn't get the Farm Up Academy complete, but I'm going to be completing it very soon. Goal number 2 was to build 2 chicken houses on the farm. Now, we already had this structure that you can see right here on the farm. This is the older structure at the beginning of the year. So the goal was to construct 2 more. So ideally we should have had 3 structures on the farm. But unfortunately, we fell short of that goal. And it's very easy to understand why. Of course, it was partially completed because we constructed one of the chicken houses, which you can see right here. Yeah, actually we just moved birds into this chicken house yesterday. Yeah, so it's a brand new house, very fresh. But in addition to that, there's other things that we did around the farm that we actually didn't plan to do. For example, I put a fence around the farm. Yeah, this place is about 3 acres, and I put a chain link fence with concrete posts all around the farm. Now, that wasn't part of the goals that we had at the beginning of the year. So it's inevitable that we had a bit of distractions, yeah, and constructive distractions, because constructing the fence takes money, it takes time, it takes a lot of funds. So because of that, it was part of the limiting factor why we couldn't expand. Number 2, we renovated the chicken house that we have at the beginning, you know, the chicken house that we have at the top of the farm. That one over there was a little bit messed. We managed to renovate it. We replaced the entire floor, you know, the floor of the top floor, which is actually the roof of the bottom floor, made from timber and wood. We removed it completely and replaced it, and then we resupported the house. So you can say that there was another win. In the end, that feels like another brand new structure for us because it's now stronger, it's better supported. I'm not worried that at some point it's going to collapse on itself. So that was another thing that we did that enabled us not to, you know, construct another chicken house. But number 3, I built myself a house on the farm. Now, you might consider that, is a house on the farm also an investment for you? Well, for me earlier on, before I constructed that house, every time I would be on this farm, I would have to sleep outside in a hotel. And that felt very uncomfortable. Honestly, you could have said that, well, why don't you sleep in your father's house? But I'm the kind of person who grew up in this environment and in this belief that beyond a particular age, you shouldn't really be sleeping in your parents' house. You can sleep there maybe for a day or 2, but not every day, yeah? Especially when you have a farm and you have things like this, you should be able to at least sleep somewhere, at least rent a place and sleep somewhere. But unfortunately, in a place like this, it's a deep village, there is no places which you can rent, so I couldn't really rent a place around, so I had to construct a house for myself, and that in itself was an investment for me on the farm. So the 3 things that I constructed that were not part of the plan initially, that's my house, the renovating of the other structure, and fencing the farm, meant that not constructing another chicken house actually felt like a goal. Yeah, it felt like a goal. So that's not something I'm hitting myself over. I feel like we've accomplished a lot in that sphere. Now, the 3rd thing was the dog breeder unit. I plan to put a breeder unit over here on the farm where I would breed dogs and then, you know, sell the dogs to a market, yeah, to, you know, anyone who wants to buy dogs. But after a lot of consideration, and there's a book that I read, guys, that actually got me to abandon this completely. The book is called The Millionaire Fast Lane by M.J. DeMarco. And one of the principles in this book is that for you to actually get rich, like properly rich, by selling a product, that product needs to be a product that can be sold in huge numbers, huge multitudes. Either that or a product that can sell with very huge margins, you know, very huge profit margins and huge amounts of money. For example, if you're dealing in real estate and you're selling $1 million house, that's a good kind of business, yeah, because you're making very huge margins on such a house. Even if it's only $300,000 that you're selling, you're getting as a margin on that house, that's still a lot of money. Too much money, money that people take very many years to make. So over here, dealing in dogs didn't make too much sense, because how many dogs can I sell in a month, for example? Maybe 50. But 50 dogs, is that worth it after all the effort you would put in and everything? You know, 50 puppies, is that really worth it? Of course, puppies are more expensive than chicks and chickens, but how many more can you sell? For example, for eggs, I can sell 1 million eggs a month. I can even be able to sell 1 million eggs a month. How many, you know, puppies can I sell? Yeah, maybe 50 if I'm really lucky. And if someone buys a dog, they're not going to come back and buy a dog from you for maybe 10 more years, because the dog lives 10, 12, 15 years. So it did make too much sense for me to go into this dog breeding. I feel like it would take away a lot of my time, yet the ability to make a lot of money from it was just not there. So I have abandoned it. But also there was a bit of accomplishment in that. So on the farm, I actually managed to introduce dogs, yeah, and these are for security purposes. So I have 3 dogs on the farm. One of them is a Belgian Malinois, the other one is a German Shepherd, and the other one is a Boer Bell. So yeah, in one way or another, I accomplished this because I have some dogs on the farm. And then finally, the first was a feed processing store. Now this is another one which we've just partially been able to accomplish. At least we built a store. So guys, we built a feed store on the farm, and this is actually able to take up to, I can store up to 80, 100 tons of feed inside here, of maize, you understand? Inside this structure over here. So that also feels like a goal because at least we managed to do some of it. Now it's not the entire processing unit, there's no mills inside there, there's no mixer, but at least we have the structure around. What that means is that I can buy a lot of maize when the prices are low and store it inside there to utilize when the prices rise up. So also that feels like a very, very huge accomplishment, something that we actually set out to do at the beginning of the year that we've been able to accomplish. And of course, in addition to just that, we've also been able to grow in other ways. We've been able to expand the farm to 5,000 layers. So this chicken right here has 2,500. This chicken over here has 2,500. So that's 5,000 layers. The goal was that by this point I would be at 7,500. That's why I thought I would have built 2 more houses. So that would be a whole 3 houses with 2,500 each. But 5,000 is better than 2,500. So again, we've grown in that regard. We've also grown financially because we can bring in more money. And also we've grown on the YouTube channel. We've grown to over 400,000 subscribers this year. We've grown by at least 100,000 subscribers this year. So I'm very happy. Thanks guys for watching, for always being available, for clicking. And also we've grown financially on the farm. Yeah, we've not only grown physically with structures and everything, but we've also grown financially. And actually I'm going to be uploading the very next video. Once it's out, I'll link to it right here. Right now it's not available, but the very next video I'm going to be showing how much our farm actually made this year of 2023. So stick around. Catch you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.